Hey everyone, welcome to 5 Tool. My name is Jason. So glad that you joined us once again here for another message that I hope will encourage you and equip you and help you take a step forward, becoming the person that God has called you to be. Today we're going to jump right in and talk about composure. This week I think it's been a hot topic. I don't follow tennis a lot. I'm sure some of you do, much more than myself. But many of you have heard the kind of the meltdown that happened at the U.S. Open with Serena Williams, and it cost her game point. It cost her a couple set points, all because of composure. She was accused of getting coaching during the match, which is apparently against the rules of tennis. I don't know, or against a code or something. The next thing you know, she's slamming a racket down on the court. Then she's bantering with the umpire, calling him a thief, just continuing to stay in that moment instead of moving on. And you can think whatever you want about the situation. That's not what we're going to talk about today, because I know there are all kind of opinions out there about whether it was sexist, whether it was a racist remark. I don't want to get into any of that. I want to strictly look at the composure piece, because if you watch any of that match, what you notice is Serena was getting beat. I mean, the other girl was playing really, really good and really good tennis against one of her childhood heroes, and Serena was kind of getting it handed to her. And when all of this went down, from that point on, Serena was stuck in that moment. Her focus was on that umpire and what was taken from her, instead of focused on moving on to the next point, to the next game, to the next set. And I'll be honest with you, Serena she's an athlete that most of the time really keeps her composure well, and she's even come out and has said that afterward. But today I want to really focus on this idea of composure. It's one of our tools here at 5 Tool Ministries, and I want to just kind of present it this way. All of us in our lives, we have a decision to make in situations that bring tension or pressure or frustration or whatever the case may be. When we are on the field of competition, or we're just in life, life always seems to present things that almost lead us to lose our composure, to lose our cool, to lose our calm, if you will, whatever word you want to call it. And your choice is simply this: are you going to be a thermometer, or are you going to be a thermostat? Now, let me explain this. A thermometer, all it does is reflects the temperature of the room. That's it. It responds to whatever temperature the environment is presenting. That is it. It can't do anything about it. It can't make it hotter or colder. It just reflects the temperature of the environment. A thermostat can dictate the temperature of that environment. If it gets too hot, the thermostat can cool it down a little bit. If it's too cool, the thermostat can bring it up a little bit. Whatever the environment is like, the thermostat has the ability to respond accordingly. It can control the response. A thermometer cannot control. It has no control. So, which are you in those moments? Are you just simply a product of that stressful environment, where all you're doing is reflecting the heat of the moment, right? You're reflecting the pressure and the tension and the stress, and it bottles up, but you have no control over changing it. You have no control over your response. Or are you more of a thermostat, where yes, it may be pressured, it may have stress, it may feel like the heat is rising on you, but you are controlled enough, you are composed enough that you can absolutely control your response. And if you feel the pressure getting high, you can dial it back a little bit. If you feel yourself drifting, you can get yourself back centered, and you can get yourself calm. That is the difference between great athletes and good athletes. It's all about the way you approach these situations. How do you stay composed when things are pushing on you? How do you stay composed when you get bumped? How do you stay composed when a call doesn't go your way? How do you stay composed when you make an error? Whether it's a physical error or a mental error, how do you stay composed? How do you move on to the next outcome, to the next opportunity? Or do you get stuck in that moment because all you are is a thermometer? You're just reflecting the stress. You're just reflecting the tension that error has caused. That's all. Many of us, especially young athletes, We get so caught up in trying to be perfect that when we make a mistake, it stays with us the rest of the game. It stays with us the rest of our practice. We're so hung up on that one mistake that now that one mistake has turned into 3 or 4. And your whole mental approach has gone out the window, all because you were stuck in that moment of tension. And what I want to try to do today is to give you some really practical tools that if you apply to your life, all very biblical tools, if you will apply these to your life, you can start developing composure in those situations. When you make a mistake, nobody wants to make a mistake. I get it, but it's going to happen. And when you do, I want to teach you how to respond to that and move on. So our focus verse today, kind of what I want to base everything on is this. It's Philippians 2, verses 14 and 16. And I'm going to get my Bible out today because I want to be able to read this well to you. Philippians 2, verses 14 and 16. Here's what Paul's saying. Do everything without grumbling or arguing. Why? So that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault in a warped and a crooked generation. Then you will shine like stars in the sky. You will shine like stars in the sky as you hold firmly to the word of life. Guys, I want you to be able to say that in your life, when you're surrounded by pressures, when you're surrounded by stress, when you're surrounded by bad calls every single game, right? It just happens. In those moments, I want you to be able to shine like stars. That's what I want so badly for you. That no matter the situation, no matter the environment, no matter the pressure that is on you, you are consistent in the way that you shine like a star. That's what I want for you. Now, how do we do that? I think composure is a key way that we shine like stars. Paul is not saying that you shine like stars during the bright times, right? When it's daylight out and it's bright, you can't see the stars. You see the stars when it's dark. You can see the stars best when it's darkest. And the same is true in your life. When your composure is most needed are during the dark times, during the struggles, during the tense moments. That's when your composure is going to shine. You don't need composure when things are going great. That just doesn't make sense. You need composure when things aren't going your way. When you've made a mistake, when you get a call that doesn't go your way, when you don't agree with a coach, when your parents aren't agreeing with the coach, whatever the case is, that's when you have to maintain your composure and shine like a star in that dark season, that dark moment, what dark play, whatever it is. Shine like a star. How do we do that? I want to give you just 3. Today it's simple, it's short, it's quick. 3 simple ways that we can work on building and developing our composure, okay? Number 1, it's so important for you to learn, for me to learn. You have to control the things that you can control. And everything that you can't control, you got to let go. You can't worry about things you can't control. You can't fill your mind up with things that you can't control. You are wasting an awful lot of emotional margin if you do that. If you try to control everything in your life, you're going to be miserable. You're going to be stressed beyond belief. You have no emotional margin for anything wrong to happen. Because the minute something wrong happens, you have no margin, so you explode. You throw a tantrum. Your body language reflects that. You get into arguments. Things get tense. You make mistake after mistake after mistake. Not because of your ability or your inability to do anything, but just because your mental game is gone. It's gone. Because you were stuck in that moment of a mistake, of a failure, of a bad call. You're stuck. Now, what if there was a way I could say, hey, here are the things you can control. Just do it. These are the things on the field of competition you can control. Now, you can do it off the field as well. But in competition, here are some things that are absolutely within your control. Your breathing. It is a scientific fact that when you feel pressure mounting in your life, you breathe heavier. You breathe quicker. You breathe more shallow. And as your body starts feeling this tension and this stress, it releases these chemicals in your body and makes everything freak out. That's just what happens. And if you can work on controlling your breathing, slow down your breathing, take deep breaths, focus on getting yourself calm. It slows your heart down. And it tells your body that you're okay. And you stop freaking out a little bit because you've controlled your breathing. That's all you've done is just controlled your breathing. When you can feel yourself getting worked up, be aware of your breathing. Slow it down. Just breathe. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Take a breath if you need to. Get refocused. Move on to the next. But another thing that you can control is your body language. How many times has a call not gone your way, or how many times have you made a mistake and the first thing you do, you drop your head, you shake your head, you shrug your shoulders, everything lets down because you are disappointed in you. You are disappointed in a call. You are frustrated with an umpire. Whatever the case may be, your body language tells an awful lot about what's going on in your head.